When he resurfaced, he looked like a different person. Long hair, a heavy beard, a hollow expression. But once cocky prank king looked like a man who had been broken down to the bone. And now, the final blow, Philippine authorities confirmed that Vitaly has been cleared for deportation to Russia. Not the place where he built his career, but Russia, a country he hasn't lived in since he was a teenager. He is currently in immigration custody, awaiting a flight to Moscow. Vitaly, the chaos, consequences, and the deportation of a fallen prank king. Vitaly Zdorovetski was born on March 8, 1992, in Murmansk, Russia, a cold industrial port city in the far northwest. Not exactly the kind of place that breeds future YouTube celebrities. His family struggled financially, and like many families in post-Soviet Russia, they were looking for a way out and a chance at a better life. When Vitaly was still young, his family moved to the United States, eventually settling in Florida. The transition wasn't easy. He didn't speak English at first, and he grew up feeling like an outsider, a kid caught between two cultures, trying to figure out where he fit in. Florida became the backdrop for his teenage years, and it's where he first discovered the world of online videos, pranks, and the adrenaline rush of making people react. Before YouTube fame, he tried a few different paths, including a brief attempt at becoming a skateboarder, but nothing stuck. What did stick was his craving for attention, shock value, and the thrill of doing things other people wouldn't dare. That hunger became the foundation of the persona he would eventually build online. Vitaly Zdorovetski was once one of the most recognizable faces on YouTube, a wild, unpredictable force who built an empire on shock, adrenaline, and the promise that he would do what no one else dared. His rise was meteoric, his fall was catastrophic, and today, that same man is sitting in a Philippine detention facility, awaiting deportation to Russia after a 9-month sentence that stunned even his longtime fans. This is the story of how a kid from Russia became a global prank king, and how the world eventually pushed back. What he had was hunger, a hunger to be seen, to be outrageous, to be unforgettable. And he succeeded. His channel, Vitaly ZDTV, exploded in the early 2010s. His pranks weren't harmless little jokes. They were massive, theatrical, borderline illegal stunts that made viewers feel like they were watching something they weren't supposed to see. Fake bomb scares, public meltdowns, streaking at the World Cup, running onto the field during the NBA Finals. He built a brand on being the guy who would cross every line. But the lines he crossed weren't just for entertainment. They were warnings. One of his earliest pranks involved pretending to plant a bomb in a suitcase and leaving it near unsuspecting people. The police were called. SWAT teams were mobilized. What he saw as content was, to authorities, a potential terror threat. He narrowly avoided serious charges, but the message was clear. He was playing with fire. The prank caused panic, chaos, and nearly resulted in him going to jail. Vitaly brushed it off as a social experiment, but the people he terrified didn't see it that way. He also launched a killer clown prank that involved chasing people with fake weapons. The video went viral, but so did the consequences. Police departments across the United States reported copycat incidents, some involving real weapons. Officers publicly criticized Vitaly for inspiring dangerous behavior, but he dismissed the backlash as part of the game. His fake drug dealer prank was another disaster. He approached strangers with fake narcotics, trying to provoke reactions. One man pulled a knife, another called the police. Vitaly sprinted away, laughing for the camera, but the fear on the faces of the people he targeted was real. These weren't harmless pranks. They were dangerous situations disguised as entertainment, and yet, the more dangerous the stunt, the more his audience grew. His Gold Digger series brought even more controversy. Women featured in the videos later claimed they were misled, manipulated, or edited to look foolish. Critics accused him of hatred toward women, exploitation, and staging the entire series for views. Vitaly denied it, but the backlash grew louder with every upload. He also launched Vitaly Uncensored, a website blending pranks with adult content. It was marketed as too wild for YouTube, but many saw it as exploitative. Models complained about misleading contracts, unsafe filming conditions, and blurred boundaries between comedy and pornography. Vitaly didn't care. He was making money, and controversy was good for business. But behind the scenes, his life was spiraling. Vitaly began partying heavily. Drugs, alcohol, and adrenaline became part of his daily routine. His behavior grew more erratic. His friends noticed, his fans noticed, but Vitaly didn't slow down, he sped up. And then came the breaking point. In 2020, Vitaly was arrested in Miami after violently attacking a woman who was out jogging. According to police reports, he punched her multiple times, leaving her with significant injuries. It wasn't a prank, it wasn't a stunt, it was a violent assault. The story made national headlines. Fans were stunned. The man who once made them laugh was now making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Vitaly later claimed he was struggling with addiction and mental health issues. He said he wasn't himself and was under the influence of shrooms. But instead of stepping back, he dove deeper into the world of streaming, partying, and chaos. He had previously been arrested in Miami Beach for trespassing after climbing onto construction equipment during a prank. Workers said he endangered everyone on site. Vitaly laughed it off. But police didn't. He was also detained in Dubai for a prank involving public indecency, a country where such behavior carries severe penalties. He narrowly avoided a long jail sentence, but the incident added to his growing reputation as someone who believed the rules didn't apply to him. His physical transformation also raised eyebrows. Fans accused him of using steroids while selling fitness programs promising natural results. Vitaly denied the allegations. But the controversy damaged his credibility. His once loyal audience began to fracture, some defending him, others calling him a fraud. His content shifted from pranks to live streams filled with erratic behavior, confrontations, and impulsive decisions. He became known not just as a prankster, but as a degenerate streamer, someone who seemed to thrive on controversy, even when it hurt him. And then came the trick that would change everything. In 2025, Vitaly traveled to the Philippines. He began live streaming on Kick, wandering the streets of Bonifacio Global City. What followed was a chaotic, disturbing broadcast that would ignite a national backlash. He harassed locals, he touched strangers without consent, he climbed onto a police officer's motorcycle, he caused public panic. He filmed himself disturbing the peace and titled the stream exactly that, as if daring authorities to react, and they did. Clips spread across Filipino social media. Outrage exploded. Even his cameraman Sly Kane knew Vitaly was breaking the law.
Oh my God, so many laws have been broken today.
Even the president of the Philippines publicly reacted, calling him crazy and questioning why a foreigner would behave like that in their country. Within days, Vitaly was arrested. The charges included unjust vexation, alarm, and scandal, and attempted theft. He was officially labeled an undesirable foreign national. He spent 9 months in detention, a mix of criminal and administrative custody, before finally completing his sentence. When he resurfaced, he looked like a different person. Long hair, a heavy beard, a hollow expression. The once cocky prank king looked like a man who had been broken down to the bone. And now, the final blow, Philippine authorities confirmed that Vitaly has been cleared for deportation to Russia, the country listed on his passport, not the United States, where he lived for years as a green card holder, not the place where he built his career, but Russia, a country he hasn't lived in since he was a teenager. He is currently in immigration custody, awaiting a flight to Moscow. Once he lands, he will technically be free, but freedom is complicated. Russia is not known for tolerating the kind of content Vitaly built his career on. Public stunts, pranks, and disruptive behavior are treated very differently there. His U.S. immigration status may be jeopardized. His career may be over. His identity, the wild, fearless prankster, may not survive in the country he's being forced to return to. Vitaly built his empire on pushing boundaries. But in the end, the boundaries pushed back hard. He rose on chaos. He fell on chaos. And now he's being sent back to the country he left behind, not as a star, but as a cautionary tale. The prank king has finally run out of places to run. Let me just outline a sketch of all Vitaly's charges from his streaming career from start to finish. In 2012 through to 2014, Vitaly had multiple disorderly conduct incidents, early prank-era detentions tied to fake bomb scares, public disturbances, and dangerous stunts. 2014, there was the streaking incident at the FIFA World Cup final. He was detained after running onto the field during the championship match in Brazil. In 2016, he's arrested for storming the NBA Finals court. He gets charged after rushing the court during the NBA Finals as part of a stunt. 2017, in Miami Beach, a trespassing arrest. He was detained for climbing construction equipment during a prank, endangering workers and himself. Also in 2017, there was the fake drug dealer prank police intervention. Police involvement after approaching strangers with fake narcotics. One man pulled a knife. In 2018, the purse-snatching prank gone wrong when he was tackled by bystanders and detained by police after pretending to steal a woman's purse. In 2019, Dubai detention for public indecency. Vitaly was held by authorities for a prank involving inappropriate public behavior, a serious offense in the United Arab Emirates. The 2020 mind-blowing incident involving felony assault in the jogger attack. He was arrested in Miami after violently attacking a random woman who was out jogging, and he punched her multiple times for no apparent reason other than him tripping on mushrooms, which he later publicly admitted to. Police reports confirm punches to face, chest, and neck. Injuries included stitches above her black and bloodshot eye. From 2021 through 2023, there were multiple public mischief, disorderly conduct incidents, which included erratic behavior, live-stream confrontations, and escalating drug-related instability. In 2025 was the harassment-related offenses in the Philippines, charged after live-streaming himself disturbing the peace in Bonifacio Global City. He was charged with 3 counts of unjust vexation. The Philippines made an example of him, as well as a criminal offense involving harassment, annoyance, and public disturbance, an alarm and scandal charge, filed for causing panic and public disorder during his kick stream. A attempted theft in the Philippines, connected to his live-stream behavior, including climbing onto a police motorcycle, and finally this year in 2026. He's charged with administrative violations leading to deportation and labeled an undesirable foreign national, and ordered deported to Russia after serving his sentence. This is an official legal designation in the Philippines. It means he was formally declared an undesirable foreign national. He was placed under immigration detention. He was processed for forced deportation to Russia. This is considered a charge in the immigration legal system, not a criminal offense like assault, but a legal penalty that carries serious consequences. So what happens to Vitaly now? And when does it happen? Right now, Vitaly is sitting in a Philippine immigration detention facility. His criminal sentence is finished, but his legal problems aren't. He's no longer being held as a prisoner. He's being held as a foreign national who is no longer welcome in the country. The Philippine government has already made its decision. Vitaly is being deported. Not back to the United States, where he lived for years as a green card holder. Not back to the life he'd built, but to Russia, the country listed on his passport, a place he hasn't lived in since he was a teenager. The timeline is simple. His court penalties are complete. His immigration clearance is done. His deportation order is active. He is waiting for the next available flight to Moscow. Once that flight is ready, he will be escorted out of the Philippines and placed on a plane. When he lands in Russia, he will technically be a free man, but that freedom comes with a long list of complications. He will be returning to a country with strict laws around public behavior, online content, and political expression. A country where his brand of shock-based entertainment may not survive. A country where his U.S. green card could be questioned, reviewed, or even revoked depending on how American immigration authorities interpret his foreign conviction. His future is uncertain. His career is fractured. His reputation is radioactive. And for the first time in his life, Vitaly isn't in control of the chaos. The chaos is in control of him. What happens next isn't up to him. It's up to the governments holding his paperwork, the immigration officers processing his case, and the country he's being forced to return to. The prank king who once ran wild across the world is now waiting in a detention cell for a one-way ticket home, to a home he no longer knows. That's not to say that Vitaly doesn't still have supporters. People who care what happens to him, or people that are laughing out loud for having to pay the price for being a cocky degenerate streamer. But I guess only time will tell what his future holds. And as Vitaly sits in immigration detention waiting for that one-way flight to Russia, the world keeps watching, some with sympathy, others with popcorn. His story isn't over, but the era of reckless pranks, shock value chaos, and untouchable ego has finally caught up with him. Whether he rebuilds, disappears, or spirals even further is something only the next chapter will reveal. But one thing is certain, the internet never forgets, and the consequences he's facing now are the result of years of pushing boundaries, until the boundaries pushed back. So as the dust settles, and the cameras stop rolling, Vitaly is left with the one thing he's never been able to prank his way out of: reality. And whatever comes next, he'll have to face it without the safety net of fame, without the adrenaline of chaos, and without the illusion that he can outrun the consequences forever. In the end, the prank king didn't just lose the crown. He lost the kingdom. And now all that's left is the fallout.
They began deporting from the country and they donated money. They're following us. We gotta get out of here.
That's all I got about Vitaly for now, but I'll do my best to keep you updated on the fallout. So be sure to subscribe if you're looking forward to that. If you enjoyed this video, please throw me a thumb. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.